That was a coup. To get a scholarship to St. Aug, because my parents couldn't have afforded that, at that time. But to get a scholarship to St. Aug and to actually have participated there as an athlete and to have had formative years and memories of some of the guys that I went to school with and some of the priests and some of the laymen, for a teenage boy, that to me was one of the ultimate experiences. Culturally, ethnically, there is something about New Orleans that is like no other.
NFL linebacker turned actor Carl Weathers.
Everyone, today is an incredibly sad day for me. I mean, I'm so torn up, I can't even tell you. I'm just trying to hold it in because Carl Weathers was such an integral part of my life, my success, everything about it. I give him incredible credit and kudos because when he walked into that room and I saw him for the first time, I saw greatness, but I didn't realize how great. I never could have accomplished what we did with Rocky without him. He was absolutely brilliant. His voice, his size, his power, his athletic ability, but more importantly, his heart, his soul. It's a horrible loss. And I'm standing here in front of this painting because it was probably the last moment we were ever in the ring together, and I'll never forget it. He was magic. And I was so fortunate to be part of his life. So, Apollo, keep punching.
Ooh, honey, did you hear the latest tea? Carl Weathers, that big-time legend we all know from Rocky and The Mandalorian, has left this world. Yep, you heard it, he's gone. The man who went from NFL linebacker to Hollywood star passed away on Thursday, February 1st, 2024, at the age of 76. But wait a minute, who was Carl Weathers really? Born on January 14th, 1948 in New Orleans, let's dive into his life story, because baby, it's one for the books.
Culturally, ethnically, there is something about New Orleans that is like no other place.
Now let me tell you, this man's journey, straight up movie material. From those rough football fields to the sparkling lights of Hollywood, it's like something out of a film itself. Picture this, a young Carl, whose pops was out there grinding as a day laborer, managing to snag himself an athletic scholarship to a private school. And not just any school, but St. Augustine High. Yeah, you know that's no regular institution, baby.
That was a coup. To get a scholarship to St. Aug, because my parents couldn't have afforded that, at that time. But to get a scholarship to St. Aug and to actually have participated there as an athlete and to have had formative years and memories of some of the guys that I went to school with and some of the priests and some of the laymen, for a teenage boy, that to me was one of the ultimate experiences.
Oh, and let me tell you, Carl wasn't just out here playing football. He was a whole multi-sport phenom. We're talking football, soccer, wrestling, boxing, judo, gymnastics. Baby, he did it all. Then, the family packed up and made their way to sunny Southern California. And that's where Carl's journey really starts to pop off. He landed at Long Beach Polytechnic High, then went on to hit up Long Beach City College before landing at San Diego State University. Talk about climbing up the ranks.
San Diego State U had just become a university. While I was there, it went from a college to a university, so a full accredited university, and it was still small in that sense of a small college town.
Now picture this. Carl Weathers, a defensive end with a big future, gets sidelined by a nasty ankle injury in 1966. But baby, did he let that stop him? Nah, he bounced back, became a letterman, and helped the Aztecs snag that Pasadena Bowl victory in 1969. But don't sleep on Carl. He wasn't just a beast on the field. Did you know he snagged a bachelor's degree in drama in 1974? Yup, our Apollo Creed was not only a football king, but also a master of the arts. Now, that transition from the football field to Hollywood? Oh, honey, that's the real story. Carl went from the Oakland Raiders to the BC Lions, and then straight into the big leagues, squaring off against Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator and teaching golf in Happy Gilmore. This man was the definition of multi-talented, but before he became the Hollywood heavyweight we know and love, he was low-key creeping into the big screen. Back in 1973, while still hustling on the football field, Carl sneaked his way into Magnum Force, just a little taste of the spotlight. But y'all, who knew this was just the beginning? Fast forward a couple of years and Carl's everywhere. Friday Foster, Bucktown, even popping up on classic TV shows like Good Times, The $6 Million Man, and Kung Fu. Talk about range, right? In 1976, he's not only making moves on Starsky and Hutch and Barnaby Jones, but also landing roles in Close Encounters of the Third Kind as an MP officer, flexing in Semi-Tough, Force 10 from Navarone, Death Hunt, and let's not forget all those TV movies. And just when you think he's done, in 1986, he stepped into the lead role in Fortune Dane. Oh, but wait, Carl Weathers wasn't about to stop there, baby. No, no, no. A year later, he went and outdid himself by teaming up with none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator. Talk about a glow-up. From the football field to Hollywood's elite, Carl Weathers became a true legend in the making, no doubt. But hold up, here's where the story gets wild. Who would have thought that after flexing those muscles in the Rocky saga and ruling the action flicks of the 80s, it would be a laugh-out-loud Adam Sandler comedy that would leave the most unexpected mark on him? And not in the way you think either. Here's the scoop. Carl Weathers, the man who was the very definition of physical perfection, a beast who took on NCAA football and had a short stint with the Oakland Raiders, decided to bring that athleticism into acting. With a degree in theater arts, he made the transition from the gridiron to the spotlight, snagging those roles that turned him into a household name. We're talking unforgettable performances in Predator, Action Jackson, and even as a tough-as-nails lawman in Street Justice and In the Heat of the Night, Carl was untouchable, man, until 1996, when Happy Gilmore swung into his life. Yup, you heard that right. In Happy Gilmore, Carl showed off his comedic chops playing Chubbs Peterson, the one-handed former golf pro. It was supposed to be all laughs and fun, but this is where it all took a turn. Despite all the dangerous stunts and action-packed roles he'd survived, it was this comedy that really did him dirty. Carl spilled the tea in a 2020 GQ interview about a stunt gone wrong, and you won't believe what happened. During a crazy stunt scene, Carl took a tumble that could have come straight out of a Hollywood blooper reel. And baby, it hit harder than any punch he ever threw on screen. Ooh, honey, let me tell you the real tea. Picture this. Our man was supposed to fall into those cushy stunt bags, just a couple feet off the ground, nothing too wild. But guess what? The universe had other plans. That bag wasn't snug up against the wall, so our star went diving backward like he was doing a whole new stunt no one had planned for. His poor body got stuck in the worst possible way, head on the bags, tailbone up against that hard wall, and boom, spine jolted like a car crash. Pain shot through him like a lightning bolt. But you know what he did? He sucked it up like the true legend he is and said, "We're rolling, right?" But after a few more takes, even he had to admit defeat. He had to tap out, y'all. Now let's talk about what went down behind the scenes. This all happened during that iconic scene in Happy Gilmore. You know, the one where Chubbs has his final showdown with that nasty gator. While we were cracking up on screen, off camera, Carl Weathers was dealing with an injury that would stick with him for years. And here's the kicker. He didn't say a word. No, no, no. He straight up kept it to himself because in his words, "I'm tough, man." Classic Hollywood flex right there. But don't get it twisted. This was no minor bump. He actually fractured 2 of his vertebrae, y'all. His back was in such bad shape, it was like a DIY spine repair job that went all kinds of wrong. It took him years and a bunch of doctor visits before he found out surgery was off the table. But wait, I'm not done with the drama. After all that pain, guess what? That man found a way to get back on his feet and back to work, despite that lingering ache from his Happy Gilmore days. And hold on, honey. You know this man didn't slow down. At 75 years old, Carl Weathers came back swinging. He not only made a cameo in The Mandalorian, but he even directed an episode. Talk about a comeback of the century, right? And if you thought the story stopped there, think again. His love life? Oh, it's got all the highs, the lows, and the twists and turns of a full-blown Hollywood script. But through it all, Carl was stacking that paper, raking in a cool $8 million by 2024. Not bad, huh? So, yeah, while we mourn the loss of this living legend, let's also throw some love on Carl's journey. From the football fields of Southern California to the bright lights of Hollywood, his legacy is built on more than just his acting chops. It's about his undeniable resilience, raw talent, and that unmatched spirit that made him who he was. Carl Weathers, baby, you will always be remembered, and your legacy will live on forever.